Here about the Trump-Russia investigation. Jill Stein of the Green Party, who was the third-party candidate, of course, she had done, if you recall, the money raising to file for the recounts in 3 states. She has now been looped into the investigation of the Russia and Trump Jr. connections. So, something very interesting, very bizarre and odd, to be honest. But here's what The Hill says. They say, third-party candidate Jill Stein was a surprising addition this week to investigators casting an increasingly wide net in the congressional probe into Russian interference in the election. Stein's name was included in a Senate Judiciary Committee letter requesting all communication between President Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr., and a number of others, including Russian officials and other members of Trump's presidential campaign. The Senate panel wants documents relating to a recently revealed meeting between Trump Jr. and a Russian attorney, among others. Former campaign chairman Paul Manafort and Trump's son-in-law and advisor Jared Kushner were also at the meetings. But investigators seem to be casting a wider net by asking Trump Jr. for, quote, all communication to, from, or copy to relating to a long list of individuals that includes Stein. So this seems very interesting, and I think that this is way too wide. If you're going to include Jill Stein in that email, in the request for information of emails, simply because I don't think that she had anything to do with this. That being a few reasons. Now, I think that a reason that a lot of people would say that she was part of it would be that, they'll say that she helped Trump win because of stealing votes from Clinton, which is obviously not true. Number one, the numbers didn't add up, so even if he had every single vote in those states that she needed to win, she would not have won. She already won the popular vote. Additionally, Jill Stein had actually, if you recall, like I said earlier, filed for recounts, which is something that the Clinton campaign didn't even do, and a lot of Hillary supporters were fond of. They became Jill Stein supporters overnight, absolutely overnight. So, interestingly enough, the third thing is going to just be that there have been, Stein, like I've seen pictures of Stein with Putin and things like that, so they're trying to paint her as a bad image because she's a third-party candidate who's a progressive, and I mean, they've always been shunned and just disrespected. If you recall, Ralph Nader was extremely disrespected and so on and so forth. But Stein called the request, quote, laughable in a tweet this week. This is what Jill Stein said on Twitter. She said, the notion I communicated with Trump Jr. is laughable. This whole thing is an obvious smear designed to generate a fake news feeding frenzy. Now, is that true? I think that it's very likely that Jill Stein is right in this case. I do think that it is pretty laughable to think that somebody who is someone who represents the furthest left in terms of the election, I think that that's quite a joke. And if that did happen, I'd be very disappointed. But I do think that this is moreover a part of a smear campaign, number one, against third-party candidates, and number two, because they want to vilify people who are third-party candidates who are progressives, because they believe that this false notion that they steal votes from them and they help the other candidate win. What's up, guys? It's Saul Hill here. You guys are watching The Progressive Voice. Make sure you guys click subscribe down below. We're fighting Donald Trump tooth and nail, and we need your help.